6 o'clock, so I am going to call the meeting of the Grafton Cable Television Oversight Committee of March 22nd, 2001 to order. As always, as a preliminary matter, we are permitted to carry this meeting forward utilizing the governor's requirements to satisfy the open meeting law. We've been advised by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings and not assemble in a physical location. All members of public bodies are encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted to the town's website, is at www.graftonmass.gov. Allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely as long as reasonable. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless participation is required by law. For this meeting of the Cable Committee, we are convening by Zoom as posted on the town's website. The meeting is being recorded, and that some attendees are participating, or all attendees are participating by video conference. So please be aware that folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided the members of the body are available on the town's website unless we note them otherwise. The public is encouraged to follow using the posted agenda. Do we have any members of the public on, Bob? No. So, so anyway, just remember to mute your computer when you're not speaking. Speak clearly in a way that helps to generate accurate minutes. And for any response, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in colloquy, I can't say that word, with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. If we do pick up any members of the public along the way, we will certainly advise them. Right. So having said that, I'll do a roll call to start the meeting. So we start Bob Berger.
Bob Berger's present.
Bob Berger, aye. Bob DeToma.
Present.
Bob DeToma is present. Jim Gallagher is here. Bob Hassinger.
I'm here.
He's here. Jack Kelly.
Here.
Jack is here. Lisa Kelly.
Kelly present.
Lisa Kelly is here, and Corson Wyman. We can't
Corson
hear.
Wyman, we can't hear you.
Later that same day in a different part of town. You can hear me fine, but we can't hear you. But you're here. All right. Just for the record, Corson is on the screen. He has identified himself and has verified that he can hear us. So as we go along, we will ask if there is any public input. And according to Bob, we have no members of the public, so we'll move forward to the meeting minutes that were provided for our meeting. It's right in front of me, of February 18th, 2021. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? And do we hear any motions to the floor for acceptance? Okay, we can't hear anyone.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes from February 18th, 2021.
Okay, Jack Kelly makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second. Bob Berger.
Bob Berger is seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll run through the roll. Bob Berger.
Yes.
Bob Berger, yes. Bob DeToma.
Aye.
Bob DeToma, aye. Jim Gallagher, aye. Bob Hassinger.
Aye.
Bob Hassinger, aye. Jack Kelly.
Aye.
Jack Kelly, aye. Lisa Kelly.
Aye.
Lisa Kelly, aye. Corson Wyman.
Can you hear me? Aye.
I can hear you. Corson Wyman, aye. All right. So, moving along to the treasurer's report. Bob, I'm also going to ask you with the treasurer's report when you're done to just give us a status on that live Zoom feeds to the main control board as well from a previous meeting.
Yeah, we don't have status on that right now, but I want to share my screen. Whoever's the
Okay.
host, can you give me control?
I think that's you, Jim. Aren't you the host?
Yeah, I'm the host, but Bob DeToma has control.
I don't see Bob.
Bob's
He's
here.
here. I can see him.
Oh, there he is. I guess it only holds so many images across the top.
Okay, there's only 7 of us. Folks.
Yes.
Okay, I got it, Bob.
All righty, here we go.
Here we go. All right. So this is that report that I gave everybody a couple meetings ago, and you wanted a rundown on how I got these numbers and why I did what I did. So I'm just going to go through this first page and then we'll go through the other 7. This is where we carry over our money from what we had in the bank last year. So this money is always being carried over. That's really no big deal right here. The next section is the money that we bring in. Don't really look at these figures. This is a snapshot that happened in August of 2021. All right. It's just a snapshot. Here, this section here is paying our guys. There's nothing wrong here. Everything was fine. The problem started, and again, here you can see there's nothing being paid out of this line item. So that is a little bit of an issue, but you'll understand in a minute. Again, same thing here. This is energy and non-energy, where we have $38,000 carrying over. And our supplies, we have $38,000. This is where the town meeting said we can have 300 and something thousand dollars to expend. And that line item, there was supposed to be $38,000 for us to expend in these supplies. But the problem is we had a miscommunication with some of our personnel that was paying everything out of this line. Like you can see, N-Star Gas should never have been in this line, should have been in the previous line under in here. So N-Star Gas should have been here. So what I did is I went through the supply line, which is 5,400, and I tried to figure out, which I did, what should have been charged to this line and what should not be charged to this line. So I did that to all of the following line items. And then what I did is you can see this line 5,100 personal services. There's nothing we had to do. That's just payroll, and it worked out fine. But here it says, please make a journal entry to correct these payments, highlighted that were charged to the wrong account. So everything that you saw in that previous screen that was in the wrong category, I pulled it out of that screen and I put it back in to the proper line that we're charging for. So now we have $15,000 at the beginning and we've expended $9,122.20. This is an accurate figure of what this line was paying for. Same thing with energy and non-energy. This one here was already charged. You remember, you saw it in that screen. These were charged to the wrong account. I threw them back in this account. Again, now we're spending $9,874.17. Same thing with the supplies. Now the supplies, we've only spent $4,000, $4,208.94. But again, everything was in the wrong category. So I wanted to pull it out and get it correct, because this is how we see, how did we do next, how are we going to do next year? If we don't have a proper comparison on how those individual line items did, then we're just, budgeting blindly. That's it. That's my report on how I made all those adjustments and why I made all those adjustments.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Does anyone have any questions? Can we just get that, thank you. Any questions there? Lisa?
I just want to thank Bob Berger for catching all that and inquire as to where those errors were made. Is it the treasurer's office?
No,
Compton?
no, I'm not gonna say.
I'd like to know where.
Wait,
My office,
Hmm?
my office.
okay, thank you. Thank you,
Yep.
Bob. We
Yep.
all make mistakes. Thanks for catching it and correcting it.
Right,
Consider room for improvement.
Absolutely.
The other point I meant to make as we opened is I wanted to thank a couple of the Bobs there who had meetings later this evening and forced their supper down and agreed to an early start so we could get this meeting in. So thank you, Mr. Hassinger, Mr. Berger. Any other questions? We move along. Okay, Mr. Dutoma sent you out a picture that you got today. We had folks out from the sign company down the road, and they gave some information here. Bob, do you want to tell us what Sunshine Sign is telling us?
They sent that quote for those two pieces of signage, non-electrical. They came out and visited the property, took photos of the property and the building, and prepared that quote. The sign is non-electrical, it's all reflective. And there is one other company that I reached out to for a quote that they have not responded to me at all. So if the committee would like a second quote, I can pursue the other company. And the quote's pretty straightforward. It gives all the information.
Are the prices in there?
Yeah, I don't see the price.
It should be there. It's $4,600.
Mr.
Well,
Chair.
Hmm?
Jim,
Pardon me?
I said, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I wasn't looking. I was writing down 4,600.
Right.
Yes,
And
sir.
when we get to that type of money that we're expending, the select board are gonna want to see, I think, three quotes for best practices. So we're still gonna have to reach out to that one company I gave you, and then maybe another one, because I know when you're over a certain amount, they're gonna ask for three.
Okay. Mr. Hassinger.
Yeah, I recall when we went to get the sign that we had, still have probably someplace, was outside the door in South Grafton. That Sunshine gave a price that was
Excuse me,
way
can
more.
whoever has the dog, could they just mute their microphone if they're not talking?
I am talking, unfortunately,
Oh,
but
that's good.
I'm getting Linda to close the door.
All right, it's good to have
Yeah,
that.
the animals out there, dogs love them. Anyway, when we got the previous sign, we got a price from Sunshine, and it was really, well, we couldn't afford it in those days, but it was it was pretty substantial. So we went back out and we got a much more affordable sign. It was still, signs are amazingly expensive, but a whole lot more. So I do think that looking at other prices seems in order in this case, whether or not it's strictly required by the rules.
Very good. So Bob, can you get back to that one? And
Yeah, I'll pursue the company in Millbury, Creative Sign Works, and I'll do some homework to see if I can find another local company.
excellent. Thank you so very much.
Jim,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep.
I'm curious about the choice of what type of sign and what it says. Are the other signs along Providence Road 122, are they lit, the police and the school? I think maybe they are, so we'd not be
I have
lit.
no idea.
I don't
Yeah.
think the school one's lit.
I think it's exterior lit. In other words, spotlights up shining on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, the planning board gets two kinds of lit, internal and external. But as far as I can tell, the sign in this quote down by the road doesn't have any lights, internal or external.
Does that have any power?
Probably not. But then also, I think that the proposal is just to say GCTV. All of us know what that means, but I'm not sure the world does. In the day, I imagined it's saying Grafton TV when that used to be our in our URL. I think that would be consistent with other towns. Maybe even put GCTV with it. And the other thing was, I've always imagined that being like what was there before for the police department. I'm sure that the cost is significant, but you know, I don't know, stainless steel letters like it used to be. So just thoughts about the choice, what we're making a choice to do, as well as anything about price.
All right. So if you could keep those thoughts in mind, Bob, as you're getting around. The finish though on this will, the reflective vinyl graphics, that my understanding is the way that works is, well, in the daytime, it's not an issue, but in the night, because of the reflecting vinyl, that actually appears to light up. So you're kind of getting the same type effect without the cost of electricity. So that's certainly something that we didn't have back in the day, and it's something that might suit our budget a little bit better as well.
That works, or at least in principle, that works for the sign that's down by the road, because it's as your headlights come on, they light it. That won't do much for the sign up on the building. I'm a little bit sensitive to this because I get sent out to places, like I used to go out to meetings of CMMPO, whatever, our regional access group. And also for planning, I get sent out to these places in the middle of nowhere, you know, some town, and I'm supposed to find some building, and the sign is not very seeable if you're not familiar with where it is. So I'm a little sensitive to having good identification.
I think that thought is a good thought. However, given the setup of our operation, if you've got a great big reflective vinyl sign out front and there's a building right there, I think it kind of identifies it. So I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the money we're spending too, you know?
Yeah, well, until you ask the question, you don't know what it's going to cost you. So we're not asking the question, so we can't tell what it would cost.
No, we can ask the question. That's not a problem.
All right. Well, that's what I'm looking for.
Very good. Corson.
Yeah, I was going to say, at one point, I think we looked at letters that were opaque, but would be raised from the back wall, and then you'd have lighting from the back. So in other words, you'd have a halo of light around the back side of the letters. So
You're talking about on the building now?
On the building, right?
Yeah.
And so therefore you'd have this nice array of letters where it's backlit but not lighting the letters. It's lighting the perimeter of the letters so that the letters show up.
I think that came up in Bob Berger. Do you want to revisit what happened with the exterior lighting there?
I don't understand what you're asking me to.
When we
explain.
were moving in there, there was an issue about establishing exterior lighting to that building. As I recall, there was an electrical situation that for whatever reason, they couldn't light that up there, and it was gonna cost a lot of money.
Yeah, we abandoned the line that goes in the island. That's gone. And
I'm
then
talking
all-
about on the building now, on the front of the
on the
building.
building, we got rid of all those wires.
Really?
Hmm.
Okay.
Because
They were
the whole
there-
building
I-
got rewired.
Yeah, but how hard would it be to run a wire if you did have lights for the building sign?
The building sign on the sign, that's really not a big deal.
Right.
The island's a big deal.
Yeah, I think the island's out as far as cost wise though, but maybe we could, maybe kind of be thinking about getting some ideas there too.
But if you-
Unfortunately, I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Chair,
go ahead.
if you, I don't really care either way, but if you wanted to put some power in the island, now's the time to do it because it's not hard topped, right, Bob? Isn't that dirt from grass to grass, Mr. DeToma?
As far as I know,
No, when they pulled out the tank,
when they pulled up the tank,
when they pulled up the
The gas
tank,
tank,
the gas tank
Over on the side.
over on the side, is that pavement gone from grass to grass?
no.
It's not, okay.
Just a reminder, there's 4 recessed lights in the exterior building where the signage would go.
I don't understand what you said.
are they working?
There are 4 flush lights on the exterior of the building where the sign would go that are pointing straight down to the sidewalk.
Yeah, they're down lights.
Right,
There's an overhang in the,
right.
yeah, that's not gonna do much for the sign. But there's,
Well, there's one of them, they work. There's one of them that's right above where they got the lettering on the building.
mm, I don't think so. Well,
Look at the picture that we faxed out. Do you have the email that I sent you this afternoon with the photos on it?
Yeah, want me to share my screen? I'll take that for a yes.
Sure.
Here you go. So this is that one sign, and then here's the other one. And there's a light right there.
yeah, that's not shining on the sign.
No. If you wanted a lit sign, it'd be, it all depends. That it wouldn't look like this because it would be in a box.
I think that Corson was suggesting individual letters with lighting behind them. You know the type I mean, Bob?
Well, they can light these letters individually inside the sign.
Yeah, but that's Corson's idea was, imagine that the letter material itself is opaque,
Mm-hmm.
but you put a string of Christmas tree lamps on the back of it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stand it away from the wall a few inches. You know what I mean?
I do.
Common sign.
I do. They don't make it they don't make it like that, but they make a box that would be a G and a C and a T and a V, and they'd be lit. And there'd be whips for each one going inside the building. Then there'd be a junction box and a transformer, and then you could wire the sign that way. If you wanted a lit sign, absolutely. So if that's what you guys want for a price, then Bob, get a price for a lit sign, individual letters.
Get us options. You know, everybody's interested in one of these.
The sign out by that one, right? The by out front.
Yep.
My ticket is that if you have a picture of the of the bandstand, and you have that kind of detail of a picture, I don't think that picture is going to be so very clear as you're driving up on it. You're kind of like going to come up on it and say, well, what is that? What is that? And he's like, oh, okay, I think I know what it is. It's just not, it doesn't have enough of, not contrast, what's the word I want to use? Enough definition of what you're actually looking at if you're going by this thing at a relatively good speed. I think the icon of the bandstand might be a better take on it than having it something that looks like an actual photograph.
That was the
My
only,
meeting.
that was the only artwork I had available to give him.
Oh, okay, all right.
So he could make a mock-up.
But at the same time, we're mostly appealing to people from the town of Grafton. And they're gonna identify that right away as the bandstand. And if it's someone driving by once, and if they're really curious, they can drive by again.
But the thing is that as the illustration on the right shows, it's going to be a little hard
You're
to
not gonna
make
discern what
out,
it is.
make out that picture a whole lot. I kind of picture no image, but bigger GCTV and then smaller, just one line across the bottom, something like Grafton Television or Grafton Community Television.
Yeah,
Just,
that would work.
Yeah, I like the bandstand.
not going to look that great.
Well, let's get some prices and then we can talk about it again. How's that sound? I'm trying to move us along so that we can get you guys to your 7 o'clock meeting. Anything else?
No, I think Bob's got some good definition on where he's gonna go and what he's gonna do.
All righty. Very good. There was a video that was distributed by young Mr. Jatoma to the board about the additional the closed captioning information. Could you take that gazebo off, please? Thank you.
I did.
Thank you. Is there anything you wanted to add about that, Bob Jatoma?
The technology is essentially very, very similar. If I had my druthers, I would prefer to stay with the folks at Tightrope. We have a pretty good relationship with them. Their support team is very supportive, and they're available to me at almost a moment's notice once I send an email or make a phone call. A piece of equipment is required in the rack, and even though Tightrope doesn't provide the service, they're partnered with another company, another vendor that teams up to provide this. So I would like to pursue it a little further with them and get more information. The thing I like about Tightrope is on their website, very clearly, right on the very top of the page is the little button that says get a quote, which the other company was very reluctant to do. So I'll pursue it and bring back some more detailed information for the next meeting.
Okay. So the only one that's got homework so far is Bob.
Oh, is that, well, we're not necessarily talking yet about capability to do one meeting live or some number of meetings live or to do offline. That's beyond us at this point.
Right, I'd have to talk to the sales department, and I mean, just at first blush, my first reaction would be to focus on the government channel and start there and branch out, and to stick with live programming and follow up with the recorded afterwards. I mean, I have to ask them lots of questions first before I can even speculate as to which way we would go.
I've just been thinking about, hey, another 6 days and I'm all anti-COVIDed, and fairly soon, well, maybe soon, we're going to start being able to have in-person meetings again. And
That's not gonna happen.
At some point it is.
Maybe 2022. It's not gonna, it's not gonna happen in the near future,
The point is that it is going to happen at some point.
2022.
And I'm just thinking about, right now, we're able to provide coverage of lots of meetings because of Zoom. And we won't be able to be as productive. I hope that people are starting to think about, what are we going to do? We're going to stop having people being able to see what's going on live in all of these committee meetings.
Well, that's something that we're going to address
Yeah.
later on down the line when it becomes an issue.
Well, think ahead and
Yeah,
factor it into thinking.
absolutely. All right, as we move to the access activity, before I ask Jack and Bob for what's going on, there was a change. The selectman made Mr. Datoma the PEG coordinator now. So congratulations, Bob Datoma, for that. Did you two want to talk about what's going on in the studio?
I'll get started and then I'll turn it over to Jack. We recently hosted Evan Broussard and William Blake to come down to the studio, and they did an introductory video for Evan, and produced a series of COVID show us your mask videos for the town of Grafton. We started off with 3 or 4 videos, and then we had a number of town VIPs and committee members come into the studio, and they essentially stood in front of the green screen and shows everybody their mask and why they wear it and why they like it. And, they average anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds in length. And I've been sending out invites to different people in town. I had Mr. Haddad from Finance Committee scheduled today, but he came down with a brief illness, so we're going to reschedule. And then, of course, we're continuing with bus stop weather. And we have
What's this minute by minute that you just had on there? Who the hell was
Yeah,
that with you?
minute by minute. I used to do minute by minute more regularly in South Grafton, and then after the move and the combination of the move and COVID, it kind of fell by the wayside because we were busy doing other things like making sure equipment worked and unpack boxes. So when
that was a loaded question, Bob.
yeah, I'm sure it was. When I had the opportunity to chat with Lisa about the senior center,
Lisa
it-
Kane.
it seemed like a good opportunity to bring it out of the closet and reintroduce it. So that's pretty much what's taken place over the last couple of weeks since we last met. I'll turn it over to Jack. He can talk
All
about.
right, so let me just, you were saying for the mask thing, you were getting in people, different people from town, and you're aware of the chairman of the cable committee is also the chairman of the housing authority. I didn't get a call for a mask man.
There's a lot of people in town, so it takes a while to reach out.
Even I got one, so it's opening the
All right.
floodgates. But I've been doing some more in-depth looks at our YouTube channel for our community content, looking at view counts and some of the analytics. Each of our business-to-business episodes have done very well. I think depending on the business, they're getting more views. For instance, our episode 2, we did a dance studio, and I believe they had a lot of people that attend that studio that watched it on their own. The latest minute by minute update, which was the first one since the move, I believe, has over 280 views. We have an episode of business to business coming out shortly, episode 5, and Bob Datoma went to the library and did a sneak peek video that has over 200 views now. So the community just videos are doing well. I had 2 pitch meetings. One of them went nowhere and the other one was extremely successful. And hopefully starting as soon as next week, we are going to start producing a in-depth Grafton government update like show
A
to
Grafton
recap all of the
What, Grafton update?
Bob Datoma used to, at the request of the select board and school committee, do small recaps of each meeting. They stopped requesting them, so it was kind of something we just stopped doing. I'm proposing a full weekly update recap of all meetings, big and small.
All right.
Would that be on the government channel or the community channel?
I believe it would probably go on community, but I'm more so focused right now on our YouTube and Facebook and stuff that's a bit more universal.
Well, the question is whose auspices and who's the person who decides who gets asked or what gets said.
I have made it very clear to those involved. It will be an objective, unbiased. It will be just what was voted on, what was discussed. It will be almost like a recap of the minutes. And I trust the people that we've involved in the project.
I would think that that's the role of the producer who's putting that show together, Bob.
And that would be me.
Yeah, so I would have great confidence in you.
Yeah, well, I think you want to make it a community access sponsorship.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be probably aired on community, but government right as of right now, I still believe government is our largest consumed product, and I'm trying to get that swapped to community, or at least even.
The problem is the government making editorial decisions about what's put out is a different thing from an individual. For example, Grafton Update or Town Talk, which Jim knows both of.
Thanks,
I
Bob.
know one of. and I think it's time to come out of hiatus, Jim.
Yeah.
And that could be this even, except that I don't know about who would ask the questions in that.
Actually that reminds me, once I've been communicating pretty regularly with William Blake, who he has 2 titles, and one of them is communication specialist, and the other one I always just gets away from me. But he put out a bid has been put out for entrances in the municipal center, and I've already reached out, and we're already making plans to have Evan come in and make a little PSA about that once the process gets a bit more set in stone. And me and William have also been talking about having Evan come down every so often with somewhat of a sit-down show with the town administrator.
Well, you guys have really been busy and getting some stuff on the air, and thank you very much for that. Certainly want to keep us in good light. I'm still picturing the show going on of Bob Goes to the Library.
Was that shot with a cell phone? Because it was, a lot of it anyway was vertical format.
Yeah, it was put together really quickly. I had the opportunity to tour the place with Andy as a guide, and I just took cell phone video and stitched it together in the editing software. And I was more interested in speed than high definition. And a lot of the comments, there was one comment that someone posted about, I was wishing and hoping that someone would fly a drone through the library, and then Bob came up with this photo montage that kind of fit the bill. At the request of Beth and with the cooperation of Andy, as we get closer to the middle of May, late May, we will absolutely be going in with cameras to shoot video. Andy wanted to wait until colors were applied to the walls and carpets were installed so that we had a much more attractive look about the place, rather than some of the photos that I took the other day.
I wasn't worried about the resolution. In fact, cell phones may get better resolution than our cameras. But a lot of that seemed like a horizontal format, but most of the pictures that I noticed were vertical. So we're getting kind of a narrow view of some of it.
Well, thank you very much for that update. Our next meeting will be April 19th. Is that an issue for anyone? April 19th, 2021.
Not yet.
I hope to be back in business by then, and all should be well.
Are we going to Mondays now?
We have been, third Monday.
Okay.
The reason that we got delayed was that we had a couple of months in a row where Monday was a holiday. So we had to push it out.
That is,
So it's
Okay.
again, Thursday, April 19th, right?
Yeah, a wise guy. I want to know who screwed that up.
Yeah, why don't you find that out and report next time, Jim?
All right, sorry.
That's Patriots Day.
Just run them by Corson on the way to the clerk.
April 19th, that's Patriots Day.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that illegal?
That's not,
That's not
is
a
that
federal
national
holiday.
No, it's a state.
Yeah, the buildings are open.
You'll have to choose a Thursday for that month because of the Monday holiday.
Is that a state holiday?
Yes.
To run the Boston Marathon and everything else.
Patriots Day isn't even on my calendar.
Yeah, in Massachusetts, it's a legal holiday. State offices are closed. The town offices are closed. It's a state holiday.
Now,
My
here's the question.
assistant, did you hear her claim that,
I did. We can't have the meeting on that. If town hall's closed, we're done.
Now, is Earth Day a national holiday? Because that Thursday, the 22nd,
22nd.
it's Earth Day. So we could do the meeting then, but is the Earth going to get angry?
All right. Does anyone have a problem with the 22nd?
No.
So we're keeping it on Thursday, right?
yeah, but
Yes,
we're gonna
but-
change the number of the day.
Okay.
So you want to have the date and the day line up then? Is that what you're saying, Clausen?
I'm just saying
Generally.
Thursday seems to be the day you like to pick.
Okay.
So
All right,
day is
Jack
what it's gonna
Kelly,
be.
Jack Kelly, the wise ass, you want to point out Earth Day. Do you know what Earth Day's mantra is?
Something about recycling, stay green, or
No. Anybody know beside me? Think globally and act locally.
we'll have to add that on to the end of one of our business to business segments we film towards that.
There you go. Does anyone else have anything else that they think they need to bring up as we're getting close to the 7 o'clock meeting?
No.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Bob Berger,
Bob Berger says, yeah, let's go.
Bob DeTomo. Bob Berger is aye. Bob DeTomo.
Aye.
Bob DeTomo is aye. Jim Gallagher, aye. Bob Hassinger,
Aye.
aye. Bob Hassinger, aye. Jack Kelly,
Aye.
Jack Kelly, aye. Lisa Kelly,
Kelly, I.
Lisa Kelly, aye. And Corson Wyman.
Hi.
Corson Wyman, aye. And we are adjourned.